playing mind games, that's just what he does. Like him showing up here today with these flowers, this smile on his face like Prince Charming, when we all know that he is responsible for all of the stuff happening on social media pertaining to me. That could change people's opinions about me by him giving these false narratives. He's responsible for that.
There are moments in reality television that feel less like entertainment and more like a slow, painful unraveling of a life we thought we understood. And then, every once in a while, we witness something different. We watch someone rise again quietly, steadily, and with a kind of strength that almost feels unreal. That's exactly what happened with Melody Shari. For years, viewers watched her endure betrayal, humiliation, and the kind of emotional chaos that could break anyone. But today, everything has shifted. After seasons of heartbreak and countless public battles, Melody has finally claimed her power, and Martell Holt is facing the consequences he never thought would catch up with him. This isn't just a story about divorce or co-parenting struggles. It's about a woman who walked through fire, found herself again.
Only time I talked to anybody was when I went with Martell no more, and I never went back.
No, we talking about when you was coming for me, hurting me, and everyone.
Oh, I can't do the victim.
Melody, she used to leave the house. Say, I'm going to the hotel.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So everybody does what they need to do for their me time, for their calming down time. And now because you got caught cheating all these years, I was cheating. Man, get that out of here.
And returned stronger than anyone expected. And now, her long-awaited moment of quiet revenge has arrived unexpected, deeply earned, and impossible for Martell to escape. Before everything turned into public drama, the world saw Melody and Martell as a driven couple with big dreams. At first glance, they looked like a power duo, the kind of pair who could build an empire together. They presented themselves as smart, ambitious, well-spoken, and determined to leave a legacy. People respected their business sense and admired the life they were creating.
See, that's where the problem comes in. You pretend wave a white flag while you doing other stuff behind the scenes. So I don't see your flag. Your flag waving is a red declare war flag.
But behind the confident smiles and matching energy, cracks formed long before cameras started rolling. Melody sensed shifts in Martell's behavior, small things at first, then slowly building into something impossible to ignore. Late nights, strange distance, unexplained changes in mood. She tried to believe that marriage could survive rough patches, but deep down, she knew something wasn't right. When Love and Marriage, Huntsville premiered, it didn't take long for the truth to start bubbling up. Martell's infidelity became more than a rumor.
So that's when you talk about stuff about being where we are, being in the good place we are, and no, we're not. Even watching you, Miss Nell, watching her come out screaming and hollering and crying.
It became a storyline he could no longer hide from. For Melody, the embarrassment was overwhelming. She wasn't just dealing with betrayal behind closed doors, she was facing it with producers, cameras, and millions of viewers weighing in. Every confession, every argument, every emotional breakdown, people watched it unfold in real time. And Martell didn't make it easier. Instead of showing remorse, he tried to shift blame. He painted himself as misunderstood, calling out excuses that ignored the pain he caused. The gaslighting became constant. He portrayed Melody as the one who pushed him away, even though she had fought to save the marriage long after it was already collapsing. To the outside world, Martell still believed he could charm his way through anything. But fans didn't fall for it.
You should be shaking your dang on head at yourself. You always doing. You was doing 3 days ago in Houston. What is you blowing up and saying all these inaccuracies for to these people? You always doing that.
They saw Melody hurting. They saw her trying to hold their home together while Martell doubled down on behavior that tore it apart. And when the child outside their marriage became public knowledge, everything changed. That moment marked the breaking point. Melody realized that no amount of loyalty or forgiveness would fix what had already been shattered. She packed her things, took her children, and stepped into a future she didn't fully understand yet, but she was determined never to look back. Leaving didn't end the chaos, though. If anything, it triggered new wars. Co-parenting turned into a battlefield. Court filings, accusations, emotional outbursts every week brought a new challenge. And Martell tried to weaponize everything he could. He questioned her parenting, her dedication, even her ability to provide a stable life. But each time he tried to tear her down, it had the opposite effect. People saw her resilience. They saw a mother fighting for her peace. They saw a woman holding her dignity together even when she was pushed to the edge. Slowly, the narrative began shifting. Melody wasn't the broken ex-wife the internet expected her to be. She was transforming into something stronger. But here's the twist. While Martell continued arguing, posting, and stirring controversy, Melody was building. Quietly. Strategically. Intentionally. She poured herself into her music, her skincare brand, her real estate projects, her mental health. She created income streams that didn't just help her survive, they allowed her to thrive. Every new opportunity added another layer to her comeback. She created a home filled with stability and warmth for her children, something she refused to compromise. She set boundaries that Martell could no longer cross. She spoke up when necessary, but she stopped feeding into chaos. That restraint became her greatest weapon. What nobody expected was how much her silence would expose Martell. Without her protecting the image of the family, his behavior stood on its own. And when people saw it clearly, they weren't impressed. Business deals stalled. Partnerships hesitated. Friends on the show distanced themselves. He became known not for success or ambition, but for the pain he caused the woman he once claimed to love. But Melody's revenge wasn't loud. It wasn't messy. It wasn't a public dragging or a dramatic showdown. Her revenge lived in her peace, her glow-up, her emotional maturity, and the fact that she no longer reacted to Martell's provocations. She didn't need to humiliate him. His actions were already doing that on their own. Her calm approach contrasted sharply with Martell's emotional outbursts. She didn't panic. She didn't crumble. She stood tall. And by doing so, she protected her family from being torn apart by someone who still refused to take responsibility. And that's where everything shifted for real. Because once the court process settled, once the dust cleared, once the final decisions were made, Melody finally felt free. There were no more endless arguments. No more nights crying into pillows. No more worrying about what new headline would drop tomorrow. She was done living in the shadow of a broken marriage. Instead, she rediscovered the woman she was before everything fell apart: strong, hopeful, creative, joyful. And that rediscovery became her true revenge. It wasn't about hurting Martell. It was about healing herself. But make no mistake, Martell felt the shift. He watched her confidence grow. He saw her fans rally around her even harder. He noticed her business ventures flourishing, while his own opportunities shrank. Every time she showed up glowing, calm, and unbothered, he was reminded of everything he lost. And the more she succeeded, the more obvious his downfall became. Fans saw it too. Social media exploded with support for her. Comments poured in, praising her strength, her kindness, her grace under pressure. Women shared their own stories, telling her that watching her rise helped them leave unhealthy relationships. People applauded her ability to stay focused on her children instead of engaging in petty back-and-forth drama. They saw her growing career as proof that she refused to let betrayal define her future. Even cast members who once stayed neutral began speaking up. They acknowledged the emotional toll Melody endured. They discussed how much she sacrificed. They recognized her journey for what it was: a testament to surviving the darkest moments with dignity. Meanwhile, Martell grew increasingly isolated. The once charming husband who believed everything revolved around him had now become the cautionary tale of the franchise. And that's exactly why this moment feels like revenge without Melody ever having to lift a finger. Her growth highlighted his stagnation. Her discipline revealed his lack of control. Her success magnified his missteps. And her happiness proved that nothing he did could destroy her spirit. But the emotional impact on Melody goes far deeper than business achievements or reality TV storylines. This journey shaped her as a woman and as a mother. She learned what boundaries look like. She learned the importance of standing up for her peace. She realized she deserved love that wasn't attached to manipulation or disrespect. Most importantly, she found the courage to rebuild a life that wasn't centered around fixing someone else's brokenness. She watched her children adjust to their new reality. She saw them laugh again, relax again, feel safe again. She understood that her healing gave them the foundation they desperately needed. And that acknowledgement alone became its own kind of victory. Because, at the end of the day, her journey wasn't only about reclaiming her image, it was about creating a future free from the chaotic cycles they once lived in. Now she wakes up without fear of what news will break. She wakes up grateful, grounded, and filled with purpose. And that emotional freedom is more valuable than any material win. As for Martell, he's now left to face the weight of his choices. Every bridge he burned, every argument he dragged out, every moment of disrespect he justified, it's all circling back. Not because Melody demanded revenge, but because life has a way of correcting the narrative. He's watching her glow while he tries to gather what remains of his reputation. And that contrast speaks louder than any clapback she could ever deliver. In the end, Melody's story isn't just about surviving heartbreak. It's about reclaiming herself in ways even she didn't expect. Her journey has become a blueprint for strength, showing women everywhere what it looks like to walk away not with bitterness, but with clarity. Her revenge is the calm she carries now. Her revenge is the smile that returns to her face. Her revenge is the legacy she's building for her children. Her revenge is knowing she never needed to prove anything because the truth always reveals itself in time. And that truth is simple: Melody won by choosing herself. So now we ask, how will Martell move forward from here? Will he finally confront the damage he caused? Or will he keep repeating the same patterns that led to his downfall? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: Melody no longer lives in the story he tried to write for her. She's creating her own, and she's doing it beautifully. What do you think? Did Melody's quiet transformation become the most powerful revenge of all? Drop your thoughts below, share your opinions, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories just like this.